So let's talk about the Giannis trade, man. That happened a couple days ago, and just to kind of go over what the Bucks got, they get Tyler Hero, Jaime Jaquez, Khalil Ware, Kasparis Jonas, 3 first-round picks, a pick swap, and a second-round pick. So, what are your initial thoughts on this trade,
For which trade?
Giannis?
Oh, we're diving straight into Giannis. Oh my goodness. Okay. Um, I'm gonna be honest with you, dude. I think the Bucks won.
Yeah,
I mean, that's my automatic opinion. And I know Giannis is the better player of the package, and I know some people are like, if you get the better player, you automatically win the trade. My view is Zach, and I could be wrong, but I think you feel the same way. This trade was like high risk, very high reward for the Bucks, in my opinion. Bro, they played the Heat for so long, dude. Pause
hmm
real quick. They were edging the Heat for so long. Big pause. But, bro, they were just dangling Giannis in their face like 24/7 for over a year. And Milwaukee was like, we are not budging until you give us what we want. And dude, did they ever? Like, I knew it was gonna be a haul. I think it's more than I thought. Like, I definitely didn't expect Bobby Portis to be in the trade, you know? Um,
they gave everything to the
yeah, dude,
Bucks.
yes. Like, I'm shocked. Like, I I thought it was just gonna be Giannis, and I didn't know Portis was gonna be involved either. Um, dude, Tyler Hero, I knew Tyler Hero was gone, but you included Khalil Ware too?
Yeah,
That's crazy.
and
I
Jonas too.
Yeah, like, I I kinda assumed Jaime was gonna be in the package because the Bucks did want him as well, but
Yeah.
dude, I did not expect them to throw in Ware, and Nate Amont is in there now. 2 more first round picks, another one is a
hmm
pick swap, and you gave them a second? Why did you give them a second? You didn't need to give them a second. I know it's just a second. I don't think we needed to do that, though. You're just, like, throwing another cherry on top of already, like, hundreds of cherries that you've already thrown on the top of the beautiful Giannis cake.
So Barry Jackson, who works for the Miami Herald, and I know this guy pretty well because I'm a Dolphins fan and I've followed him for years and years now. He's legit. And talking about this Giannis trade, he came out after the trade and said, "It's something you had to do in my mind because there simply was no plan B. I know there had been a lot of speculation about Plan B had to have been written up with John Morant or Trey Young. None of that was accurate. Morant is someone they considered previously, but decided against it. I didn't sense a great enthusiasm in the pursuit there. I never got the sense Kawhi Leonard was viewed as a likely option for them either. And so for the Heat, it was pretty much Giannis or bust.
Yep.
Like that is all they could have
And
done.
that's how they
And
got him. That's how they
yeah,
got him, Zach.
and
Oh
so
my goodness.
I think they used Boston too as just the perfect trade negotiation
Yep.
because they go to the Heat. This all comes out, and Celtics are willing to trade Jalen Brown plus more to the Heat or
Yep.
to the Bucks
Mhm.
for Giannis. And what does that do to the Heat?
Perfect.
they have to be like, oh crap, we have to add this guy and these picks now because we can't have them go to the Celtics. What are we going to do after that? And so the Bucks, they were just the puppet master. They played the Heat like like a puppet, man. It was crazy. And so they got exactly what they wanted. And I know the Heat are happy too. They got a top 5 player in the league, which, you know, that's good for them. But this was just a very interesting situation because I feel like once this trade happened, all NBA fans kind of exhaled because usually if a top 5 player gets traded, the reaction is, "Oh my goodness, this is insane. This is league altering."
Yeah.
But this time it was a little bit underwhelming. This was dragged on for so long. There was like lack of surprise. No one really even knows the path to put a competitive roster with the Heat, even with Giannis and Bam. And so it's not that exciting. It almost feels like it's a lateral move, in my opinion. It's very similar. And so usually, if you're going to add a top 5 player, you're automatically going to compete. You're one of the 5 teams who are going to make the run for the championship. I'm not sure if, like, are we sure they're not going to still be a play-in team?
No, they
Like,
probably
I
still will
think they'll
be.
be a little better, but I'm not, like, comfortable saying they're not going to be a play-in team.
Yeah, I never feel good about trades like these for I mean, it's great to get, you know, top 5, top 3 players in the NBA. Like, it's Giannis, like, that's a dream to have on your team. But at this point, Zach, we talked about it before. We have a video, we have a short on this channel where I talk about the repercussions of Rudy Gobert and Jaren Jackson, how much this has damaged this trade, and it will continuously damage any other trades that are of this magnitude because in this modern NBA, Zach, if I am a if I am a guy who runs an NBA franchise, if I'm a GM or a president of the team, I'm not making these trades. This is a terrible idea. I am I am not trading for Giannis in this position. I know it was all or nothing, but at the end of the day, when you make this trade, you're pretty much this is your death sentence in a way, in
Yeah.
my opinion. Like, and you know what's crazy? Guys like Brian Windhorst is already reporting that this team is not gonna be going for a big playoff run next year. And he's saying that he knows people that are a part of the Heat organization know that they're probably not gonna go that far next season. They've already mentally prepared themselves that they're already taking a hike for next year. So you're wasting another year of Giannis and Bam. You still have Andrew Wiggins. You're wasting another year of him. Norman Powell's gone, dude. Like
Yeah,
he's
who
gone
knows
for
if he's
sure.
back or not? We
No,
don't. Yeah,
Norman Powell's gone. Like they have no more space. You have Bobby Portis for one more year. I think Bobby Portis's contract
you
is up after this year. So
and you
you're
probably want to keep him too because you don't really have much
right.
in your front court at this point.
So now at this point, you're pretty much skipping out on next year and you're hoping for the next following year, but you just gave up first round picks. So, because your main idea would be like, oh, we'll just build through the draft. Oh, wait, kind of can't do that because the best players are in the first round usually. So now we kind of have to hope that we can develop some talent out of the second round, which, fun fact, are the Heat known for developing talent out of the second round? They
I
can
mean,
make
they
guys
find
work.
guys.
They can make
Yeah,
guys work, but not really develop, you know? So it's they'll be able to build a better team as time goes on. They'll get some guys in, but they're really just building the bench, dude. I mean, and you're just assuming they can keep Davion Mitchell and Andrew Wiggins. But here's my thing, dude. What is the shooting here? Where's the spacing?
Yes.
I've even seen some people have an interesting take like Bam and Giannis sounds insane, but at the end of the day, is the spacing of Bam and Giannis actually going to be enough?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too, because it's an absolute spacing nightmare. Where's Bam gonna stand when Giannis is driving full speed in the lane?
Like Bam can
I'm
shoot
not sure.
threes,
Who's
but
your shooters?
I mean
Who are you
Bam
throwing the ball out to?
I mean Bam can shoot a 3, can, but like he's going to shoot more threes this next season. I mean, he just had a year where he shot his most three-pointers, but he shot 32%. Like he's not even knocked down. Like he shoots
Can you
threes.
survive with Davion Mitchell and Andrew
And
Wiggins
that's another
hitting
thing.
3-point
Davion does
shots all year?
yeah, like Davion's not knocked down either. Like you don't have any
No.
knockdown shooters. So are you like praying that Duncan Robinson leaves the Pistons? Like
I don't know. They're really gonna have to hope there's guys out there who are gonna take the vet minimum, come play, be a part of their team. But like you said, this is such a high risk move. You know, Giannis, he's not young. He's going into his 14th season and has had a ton of calf injuries. And so there's
yeah.
that side of it you have to think about. But it's just not
Bam is younger
realistic
than
that this roster
Giannis.
can go far. Yeah, Bam's younger than Giannis. It just there's not many teams that Giannis could have went to that would take them to championship level. Like I think if he went to the Thunder, of course, you know, if he went, I think he would have made the Celtics better. Obviously, the Spurs. There's teams out there, but the Heat were not on that list to me, and
Yeah.
there's not much room for them to make that list. And so it's interesting. The Celtics, they tried to get in the sweepstakes. They offered Jalen Brown and 2 first-round picks. So fun fact, Jimmy Haslam, he's also the owner of the Cleveland Browns. And so sources said that Jimmy Haslam was the driving force in taking the Heat deal for Giannis over Boston's offer. Haslam didn't want to risk Jalen Brown wanting out of Milwaukee in a year after dealing with Giannis and then also dealing with Myles Garrett with their trade demands. Haslam wanted certainty, and the Miami deal provided more of that with more total assets in return to Milwaukee.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the Bucks, man, good for them. They absolutely did the right thing, and they're going to be a fun team to watch, dude. They got so many young players who can develop. I like Ryan Rollins too a lot. They already have him on the team. They added all the Heats, basically the whole Heat team. And then you come into the draft, Nathan Met and Braden Burries. So, and they'll have first round picks, you know, and with the new draft lottery, I could totally see the Heat in the next couple years between that 4 and 10. And so who knows? Maybe the Bucks will jump
Well,
up and get that
yeah,
first overall. So
that's
yeah,
true.
the Heat really sold themselves for this.
Dude, that was another thing I was even thinking about that. The Heat still had their depth, like even though yeah, they were in play in purgatory, with this new lottery, you actually could have won out more staying in the play-in now because we talked about this
Yeah.
before. It's actually more of a benefit for you to be in purgatory now.
Yep.
And because the Heat did it for 4 straight years, if the lottery was like that 4 years ago, the Heat probably would be more in the playoffs than now. because they definitely would have went up to top 10, maybe even top 5 out of one of those years easily.
Mhm.
So, I didn't even think about that, dude. That was a good thing to mention. I Yeah, they really shot themselves in the foot. That makes it even worse. That makes it even worse. Oh my gosh, I didn't even think about that. And now if they're in play in purgatory, they don't even have the picks. The Bucks do. So
Right?
not only are the
So
Bucks so not only are the Bucks gonna
the Heat are in
suck.
legit purgatory.
Oh my gosh, not only are the Bucks gonna suck, dude. And if they suck, they might go from a top 3 pick to maybe like the 5th or 6th pick. But guess what? They have this magical pick at 13 or 14 because the Heat are in the play-in, and now it's gonna jump to top 3. So now
Right.
they have a chance at having 2 top 5 picks, and maybe even at least 2 top 10. The Bucks are cooking, chat.
Yeah.
Oh my
It
goodness.
Bucks did so well. And so obviously me and Josh aren't super high on what the Heat did, but to be a little more optimistic, like if things go right, you still get a top 5, top 3 player in the league on your team. Like it's hard to in a vacuum lose in that sense. You just got an incredible player in an Eastern Conference, which is pretty much wide open. So there's that going for the Heat. They have a decent ish starting lineup. You have Andrew Wiggins still. You have Davion Mitchell. You know, the Powell thing. I don't know what they're going to do about that. But obviously, there's still a lot more work to be done with this Heat roster. They don't have too many resources anymore to do anything, so they
Yeah.
better hope they really tackle the margins and get some guys who can contribute and hopefully get some guys who are willing to take vet minimums. So it's Miami too, so there's always going to be, I'm sure, a line of guys who are willing to do something like that. But we've seen teams build their benches like that before, and most of the time it doesn't really pan out, but maybe it'll be different. So that's about all I have on this.
Yeah, pretty simple. It's more of a wait and see with Miami to see what kind of moves they can make, but they're really limiting themselves, and
Hmm.
I don't like that. My perspective is Pat Riley is still living in the early 2000s where you can just trade for a big star and be okay. It's kind of
Yep.
just not how it works anymore because there's just a lot more talent in this league, and you win with depth. If not depth, you win with the best 5. And what we saw in the finals was best well-around built team in the Spurs with how much depth they had and bench help. And then the Knicks were just so stacked. They had the best starting 5 in the league easily, but that's because of the
Hmm.
amount of money they spent. So it's literally, if you don't have the best starting 5 in the league, or if you don't have a really deep team, you're not making it to the finals. So it's more than just having a top 5 player anymore at this point, unless you're like a Victor Wembanyama and you're the best player in the league, and that's a little bit different.